We have started the recording process. And now we can count it down and play this whole intro in 3, 2, 1.
When kids of the future open the Nickelodeon time capsule in 50 years, what should they find? Nick wants to hear your ideas. Should there be rollerblades? A piece of the Berlin Wall? Perhaps a video letter to the future? Remember, the time capsule will stay buried until the year 2042. The future starts right here at Nickelodeon Studios, the first world headquarters for kids.
You got the moves. I'll give you that.
Not wrong.
The morning stream. What do you say? We get nipple to nipple.
Fumble Fingers Johnson over here today. Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to TMS. It's Thursday, January 25th, 2024. I'm Scott Johnson with Brine Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
Hello. How are you?
I gave you a one-syllable version of your name. Brian. Brian.
Somebody does that. Somebody that I know says like, I think Chris Brown says it like that.
He just says Brian like that? Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, he'll shorten it. Chris Brown. Like, I have to call him his full name, and he can't even give me the two syllables that I was born with.
Yeah, it's only one extra syllable. It's not that bad. Should be able to
Hi,
crank
Chris
that
Brown.
out.
Hi, Brian. That quick. Brian.
I like that. Your true friends shorten your name. That's how that works.
That's right. Yes.
Brian, we're here at last. You know, it's only been a day.
At last.
So,
oh my gosh. What a week this has been.
Yeah.
Busy week and crazy week and
lots of stuff going on.
lots of stuff. Yeah.
Preparation for Vegas is in full gear, everybody. We'll have...
It is. Yeah, I'll have an update right before we get to the news. Unless you want me to do that first. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about fun stuff.
Yeah, let's do this.
Not that the TMS Vegas isn't fun. Don't get me wrong.
No. I was talking pre-show a little bit about how we're putting a bathroom in the basement, and we're doing it on the very cheap and having free labor, which really helps. Anyway, yeah, I gotta remind myself, like, I'm not used to that kind of stuff. I'm not a manual laborer, okay? It's not my thing. I wish I was more skilled in the areas of, like, how do you fix this, and why is your car broken? And I wish I was, and I could be. Sure. It's not like I'm broken or couldn't find a way to learn. You know,
this isn't right. It's not magic. Like you're not. It's not Muggles versus Drywallers.
Mm-mm.
Like, you can figure out how to do this stuff. Do what I do, which is find somebody on YouTube who explains how to do it.
Yeah.
Then do it, and then take it to a professional to fix it.
Oh,
that's all you have to do.
Fix the mistakes that you
steps.
made. Okay,
that's for profit.
Oh yeah, 3 easy steps plus then profit at the end.
That's right, exactly.
But that requires copious degenerative gambling at that point.
Yes, it does. Oh, I need to get back into that. I did one bet yesterday and it won.
Oh, well, then you've got the bug again.
Mississippi
you can do this.
State versus Florida NCAA basketball game. I said, I think it'll be under 150 points.
Yeah.
And it was 149 points.
Ooh,
it
wow.
could not have been any closer.
Goodness. It would have to be dead on to be closer. That's amazing.
A whopping $13 on my $12 bet.
Whoa. Slow down. Don't spend that all in one place, Brian.
I know, exactly. Like, the degenerate gambling is really taking a back seat. It's I'll come back to it, but for right now, it's really, really on the DL.
Brian will be back pulling blue hair, pulling some slots before you know it. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. I'll go back. I'll be a regenerate gambler.
Yeah, I can't regenerative gambling. So anyway, so we're working on this thing, and I forgot how, you know, if you buy 2x4s at the Home Depot, which is where we got them. Or no, we got them at Lowe's. Doesn't matter, same place basically. And we come home and we got all these, and we got the good kind, the kind that aren't crappy or cheap. They're decent just because we want it to last and whatever. So
sure.
The thing is, they don't. It's not like that means that these aren't just loaded with slivers, right? If you rub the wood the wrong way, haha. So I have this,
right.
I have this notion that I need to, when I'm picking up this stuff and feeding it to Steve, who's in that room setting up the framing. We had to build the frame, much of the frame we had to build inside there, because normally you would build a frame outside and then move it in and put it in place. But there's no room for that. Cause it's already built, right? There's no all the other walls are covered, so I can't really sneak it in. So we're doing it inside the room. So bringing a 2x4 in that we cut to length, put it up in its place, nail it in, screw it in, whatever. And we kind of did it like that. Well, here's the problem: is we're feeding this hand over head. At one point, I just slide my right hand on the wood. I just go shh.
Oh,
and
God.
I pull it away.
Just thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's real bad. And I ended up with like, I don't know, 6 or 7 of these slivers that I then spent the rest of the night picking these out of my palm.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. And then and then that same arm, for whatever reason, my shoulder's like on fire today. So, I just don't belong there. I don't belong in these situations.
It's not your world. Yeah.
It's just not me.
That we were talking, like, saying that you're not either born with it or you learn to do it. I mean, that is the other aspect of it, is doing it for a while builds up those calluses, or builds up just that the muscles that you need in that area that you do that thing for.
Right.
Like, somebody who works out on the street jackhammering holes into the pavement. Sure, I could watch a YouTube video and know how to do that, and go out there and rent a jackhammer and put a hole in the street, but I'm going to be a lot sorer than the person who does it every day and knows what they're doing, that sort of thing. So,
yeah, I agree.
Knowing how to do a thing, there is a difference between knowing how to do a thing and doing it. And
yeah, for sure. And Dr. Calhoun says it best. The only way to get better is to do it. It is a skill. I completely agree.
Yep.
I have very few opportunities where I'm even have a reason to be doing it. So it's not like Steve does this all the time. They are building from the ground up a brand new house in the middle of this property they bought in Mississippi. And so they're starting from nothing, doing all the stuff themselves, a foundation on the place, the barn workshop thing next to it, the house itself, obviously. And he knows all this stuff. He knows electrical. He knows building
Plumbing.
Code. He knows all of it. And plumbing as well. And so
nice.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah.
I just haven't been doing it my whole life. I wish I had, but I haven't.
I did. I installed, like, basically ran lines from another outlet in our house. Daisy chained off another outlet and installed a new electrical outlet where we needed one and didn't have one.
Yeah.
I feel like I can do some electrical stuff in the house. Plumbing, I don't even want to touch with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, dude.
Like, yeah, the fact that he knows, all these different trades. Tina's dad was really good about that, and Tina's dad is probably, well, no, not even probably, is definitely why I feel like I could step in and do that.
Yeah.
Electrician stuff, well, I think I could, if I needed to, frame a room, put drywall up, mud it, sand it, basically get it framed up and all that sort of thing. But hats off to anybody who's able to do all that stuff and have it be second nature to them, and have them, instantly look at a thing and know how to do it without.
Yeah. And actually seems to enjoy it. Like Steve's, the reason we're doing this isn't so much that we've waited too long on a thing. Like, that's just, we were going to build it and we just haven't, whatever.
Yeah.
The main reason is he said, look, when I come out here to work and stuff, and if I'm hanging out with you guys at all, I'm going to be gone, all week for the work part. But on the weekend, if I'm here and I got nothing to do, it'll drive me crazy. So give me a project.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'll play a video game. You make
I was going to say, it would be the same thing. Like if you went out and stayed with them for a week and they're like, oh my God, I have no idea how we need to set up a Wi-Fi network, or we need to install, router or build a PC or something like that. You go, oh, give that to me. I'll take care of that. You guys sit back. Let me do that.
Yeah. Seeing those things all fall well within my purview. I can do all of those things. Hey, our internet's not right. What's up with that? Oh, well, let me take a look. Like I can do that. Like I've got the skills for when the electricity is on. But
and the plumbing is working, and the
right. But the minute the zombies are in charge, it's all heads off. It's all heads off. Yeah. That's not the phrase. Yeah. It's all
hands on deck.
All bets are off is what I meant to say.
All bets are off. Okay.
I knew something was off. Turns out it was me.
All bets are off. Hold on a second. I'm trying to. What's the all bets are off? I thought that's like it's the Wild West out here. Like once I set up my McDonald's, all bets are off.
Yeah, all bets are off. Which is a weird thing to say if you say, let's do a scenario. All the power is going to go out. All the hot and cold running water goes out. Everything, all of our modern conveniences stop. and society is suddenly in the dark.
Yeah.
And then you would say, well,
That's
when that happens,
that's a good, all bets are off.
all bets are off. And it's like, well, what bets? What bets were we doing? Like,
I think it's so unstructured and unpredictable that you couldn't even say, I'll bet that guy over there is going to become the crime boss now that there's no electricity in this world. I'll bet that, it is basically like a shaking of the ethereal Etch-a-Sketch, and all bets are off. Like, who knows what?
And maybe it's literal. It's like, okay, so let's look at your degenerate gambling. If you had a bunch of debts in play or bets in place, for let's say the fall football season, right, and then the world loses its mind and it becomes 28 days later or something.
Yeah.
Then literally all your bets are off because there's no football. No one cares. No one gives a shit. We're done. Like life is no longer giving you anything to bet on. So you're no longer betting on, I think this person will be president. I think Microsoft will acquire that company. Like all those bets off.
It's less about an actual structured bet and more like, that's a safe bet. Like as opposed to an actual physical, I'm putting money down to say this is going to be the outcome. Just like, there's the phrase, that's a safe bet. I think so-and-so is going to be, when they come over, I'm sure they're going to stay for a week. Right. Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's the good opposite. So yeah, I think you're right. All bets are off means it's unpredictable. Bets require some predictability, and you don't have it anymore.
Right.
All right.
I don't think it really has to do with actual physical wagers, but more just like the predictability of things. And all bets are off means you cannot predict a damn thing.
All expectations are dashed or something.
How does you bet fit into this? Right? Like, hey, are you gonna go see Dune 2 when it comes out?
Oh, you bet. You bet I am.
Is that just basically like we're making a wager that I'm gonna. Is that what it?
Yeah. Never thought about that. Yeah. Like it's a weird use of bet.
It is a weird use of
because you're actually making a guarantee. You're kind of making a guarantee. So if Kim says we got to shovel this snow, can you?
Like a sucker's bet.
Can you go out? It's like, can you out and clean the dog poo? And I would say, you bet. Now, does that mean Kim is having to wager? Is there a percentage chance I won't do it? Like,
right? No, it feels like that's a guaranteed outcome. It feels like if you'd be a sucker to go against that bet is basically what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's funny that you say it.
Dr. Calhoun says red on air light. Well, how is any of this a red on air light?
How? We haven't had this conversation before. What is he talking about? He's a red on air light.
Yeah, exactly.
Dr. Calhoun, you're a red on air light.
You're a red on air light.
Yeah, take that, jerk. Just kidding. We love you.
Let's see how it. Who's the guy who does that all the time? Chris Farley. You're a red on air light.
Have you heard his? You know what? This might be a fun place to do this real quick. We talked about how he was, or did we talk about this here? I can't remember, but I was talking to somebody about how he was Shrek until he died, and then they had to recast him, and that's when they brought in Mike Myers. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really? No, I had no idea.
So I didn't either, and I saw this thing. Let's see, Shrek read. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is.
That's really, thank God. It felt like that's something that Mike Myers said, because he always did that voice, whether it was on SNL or So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, the Scottish thing. Yeah. Well, the plan was no Scottish at all. It was just going to be Chris Farley doing the thing.
He was going to be Matt Foley, basically, living in a cave down by the river.
Here's some of it. Let me play a bit of this. Is it going? Okay, here we go.
Okay.
It's like there's
nothing like a fire and a noble romantic mission to warm the cockles of your heart.
Yeah. I like my cockles room temperature, thank you very much.
Hey, if you're not doing this for cockle warming, why are you doing it?
Simple. Fartwad gets his princess, I get what I want.
Which is? Now come on, what do you want?
I don't have time to set it to music.
So I don't know.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that would have sucked.
I think that would have been
Chris Farley.
Yeah.
But there is no life to that Shrek.
It might not work. And also, he's delivering.
I'm not trying to say because I know there's no life to Chris Farley right now.
Oh, I see what you're
There's no. There is no. Yeah, that's not what I was trying to indicate. But.
Well, so the story goes like this. According to I heard this actually. Oh, I know where I saw it. It was David Spade appeared on another show that I listened to, and he was talking about this because it was kind of the anniversary of his death, and he said
Did he let other people talk?
He did actually. He did. I'm
So
sorry.
really, it's just Dana Carvey.
I think
trying
it's
to work
Dana
in a
Carvey.
Johnny Carson impersonation.
Yeah, it's Carvey cutting everybody off, I think. But anyway, he said, when he died, so this is right around the time that he was really struggling drugs-wise. And when he died, they were going to pay his brother to finish out the lines because he can do a killer impression of him. But his brother, who also does stand-up, said no, he was just too emotional about it. So they were going to go for it. They were just going to go ahead and use the lines. They liked it. They were happy with it. And then when that happened, Mike Myers, so as the story goes, according to Spade, Mike Myers was like, I really want to do I can't remember now. He really wanted to do the Scottish thing. He had to convince them.
Really?
Yeah. So he did a bunch of lines and stuff.
Yeah, which
and
makes sense because I mean, you don't look at an ogre and say, "Oh yeah, I expect to hear them speak in a Scottish accent."
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Like in an alternate world where all this went through, maybe we wouldn't even think twice about it. I don't know. It's hard to say, but seems weird. Seems weird.
I will say there's a little bit of a Mike Myers British thing going on with. I'm still watching Peep Show. I'm into the 3rd season, which oh my god, this show. I really like it, but it's torture.
Yeah, I've heard everyone's saying it's like the best modern British comedy ever.
It's so many, and I see why. But my God, it's almost like you say, if you had to choose your adventure book, and is like, okay, the woman you like is down the hall. Do you? If you go and say something nice to her, go to page 13. If you send her some roses, go to page 43. If you decide to hack into her email and see what she says about you, go to page 75. And it's what they all like. Both main characters just pick the worst possible decision to make at every possible decision, every choice.
I need to watch this. You say it was on Freevee or something? Or...
It's on Amazon Prime, but it's Freevee, so you get 2 commercial breaks. And the commercial breaks that
I don't mind
Amazon,
them. Yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad. But here's what's irritating: they start a second too early.
Yeah.
So you get the joke kind of punchline, and it immediately goes to a commercial, and then you come back from the commercial, and you get the 1 second reaction shot of. so like straight face before it goes to the next scene.
So this is interesting, and I have a question for British people. I don't know if Zoe's in our chat or not. But my understanding is when you see the show in the UK, the commercials are only shown at the before the show and then at the end of the show.
Oh, really?
Is that that's typical, isn't it? Or no? Do I have that wrong?
I thought they had commercials throughout like we did. No?
I don't know. Let's see what they say.
That's a good question.
Zoe says depends on how long the show is. So if it's that's what I'm saying. So comedies that were like 20 to 30 minutes, like say.
Okay. So let's say your regular sitcom, every 15 minutes, says Zoe, which is still
okay.
That's longer than we get.
It is longer than we get. I just knew they had better standards for that stuff than we did.
Yeah.
On the BBC, you get no commercials.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because that's a publicly paid thing.
Yeah, so it's there. Like our public access channels kind of thing.
Well, it's like PBS here, except we're so stingy about that shit. We make it political, but over there they're just like, yeah, BBC. We've always paid for it. It's all good.
Does BBC have annual pledge drives where if you donate 20 pounds, you get a tote bag?
Yeah. Do you put your people through hell as well, is what Brian's asking?
Exactly.
Because good Lord, I hate those.
So talking about Peep Show, whatnot, shitoutofluck.com. But yeah, Peep Show, you got to give it a try. It is, like I said, I'm enjoying it, but my God, it's torture. Every single interaction that the main characters have with their loved ones or bosses, it's hard to watch sometimes because it is they do the absolute worst thing they can do at the time because they're so socially awkward and weird.
I sometimes have an appetite for that. What? It has to be British. I can't do it when it's American.
No, right. That's why Men Behaving Badly did well there and did not do well over here. Is because we're not a master of that the way the way the British are.
Yeah,
for sure.
You guys can make us feel uncomfortable, and we can still stick around and not change channels.
Yeah.
The original Office was like that. There's a lot of examples like that, but I don't know what it is, because when you flip it over, like the U.S. Office succeeded not because it kept up what the British Office did as far as uncomfortableness. It found its own strain of that was more palatable to us. If they had gone full British uncomfortable, I don't think I could have watched the U.S. Office all the way through. But I think they found their own footing, and it became culturally less awkward. Maybe it's more awkward over there. I don't know.
It was it was adjusted for to work for.
Its awkward setting was lowered to a 7 instead of 10.
Right, to American levels. Yes, exactly.
And so awkward for us is what's his name dumping chili all over the office entryway. That to us is so cringy.
That is nothing compared to what these a-holes on Peep Show do.
Yeah.
There's also a guy on there that I crack up every time he's on screen, but he's kind of the agent of chaos of these two. His name is the character's name is Super Hans, and because of the accent, I thought that for the first couple episodes, first time they mentioned him, thought his name was Super Hands.
Super
like
Hands.
His hands are super.
Sure.
But Super Hans, played by a guy named Matt King. I'm trying to think if we've seen this guy. He feels like a guy that we would have seen in some
in
something for
Matt King. Oh, there he is.
Something for whatchamacallit, for Film Sack, but no.
Oh, he looks very familiar.
Yeah.
Why? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
I saw him in I've seen 2 of these movies he's known for, Rock and Rolla and Bronson. Maybe I remember him from that.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow, he's busy.
He is. He's a popular, busy dude.
Voice work, big time film work, TV work.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good job, Matt King. You're the king of Matts.
Initially, I thought he was Kevin Rowland, from lead singer of Dexy's Midnight Runners, because he's got that look. It's like he sounds like him, he looks like him. Is that Kevin Rowland? But
That'd be funny.
It's just a guy who looks a lot like Kevin Rowland.
It's the kind of guy where his little face disappears in his huge hair.
In his huge hair, exactly. Yeah.
But you could do a lot worse there, Matt King. Let's keep going here. We got we got to follow up on the
herpes.
Let's talk about herpes. I guess we made some broad assumptions about herpes or something to that effect, but we got somebody who's an actual infectious disease physician in the South. His name is Jesse, and he wrote in and said, "Good morning, Scott and Brine. This is for TMS, listening to 2858. Jesse could be a girl. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm Jesse, Jesse's girl or boy. I wish that I had Jesse's girl. An infectious disease physician in the South. Regarding your conversation about herpes, there are 8 human herpes viruses that are causes of cold sores, genital ulcers, shingles, chickenpox, etc. Herpes B virus is specific to the monkeys or macaque. What did we say? I forget now again.
It was macaque.
Macaque.
Yes.
The macaque monkeys. CDC has a whole page on this. That's herpes B virus. And from what I can tell, there's no herpes A virus. Most of says most are manageable, but never go away. Herpes viruses are like diamonds. They last forever. Love the show, though, Jesse. So when you have... My wife gets a cold sore about every 6 months. And it goes away pretty quick, but she just gets one. My daughter does that as well. When Nick was little, he got them all the time. That's some kind of virus, right?
It is, yeah. It's a version of, and it's one of these. Jesse says 8 human herpes viruses that all cause of cold sores. So whichever, they didn't go into which version of herpes it is, but I get one, like if I have a bad cold, if I don't use Abreva, the first sign of like any sort of like, oh, there's a tingling in my lip right here, then I get a cold sore right after a
like
cold.
Literally during a cold, like the name implies, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
cold sore.
Exactly, like it's the cold tombstone is what it is. It's like, here lies a cold. It was in Brine's face for 2 weeks. Rest in peace, cold.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had one. I'm maybe a childhood one happened and I have no memory of it, but I've never had an adult cold sore before. And what I wonder about that is, if it's a virus, I would assume it's communicable. And if I live with people who get cold sores, why don't I get them? You know? This is the part Jesse would have to write back in it on or something, or maybe we'll hear from Tolbert, but I have no idea.
And this is where my and boy, this might be an old wives' tale, but my guess is if you and Kim kissed while she had a cold sore and you had an open wound where she kissed you, there's the chance of that spreading. Okay,
so you need to have some. It's not just simply like, oh, I inhaled your sneeze or something. It's more than that.
And that could just be total, like somebody in my family said that was the case. Like, oh yeah, Brian's got an open cold sore. Don't. There was there was something else that I was told not to do if I had a cold sore, but we won't get into that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Free Rangers, kiss me on my open wound.
Exactly. It's kind of exactly. Yes.
Well, all right. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to avoid that if I can.
Yeah, so this is a great Dr. Tolbert question.
Yeah, Jesse or Tolbert or anyone in the know, write in. Let us know.
How do cold sores what version of herpes is a cold sore, and how does it spread from person to person?
Right. And Claire says, and she's also right, sometimes it's dormant.
Oh gosh.
Sometimes you have
no. Oh, actually that's true. Wow. That was not the thing I was expecting to hear from Claire. Is actual. There we go.
But there she goes. That
right
I expect.
There,
yeah.
Right there is what I was expecting to hear from Claire.
We're not even going to repeat it, but Claire wrote a thing, and that's exactly what we expect out of her. So now we're back to level.
We're not saying it. No.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Balance to the force, Claire. Good job. All right. We also got a phone call about dropping knives. I don't remember the context of this dropping knives thing. Do you? Do you remember us dropping knives?
I don't
or
either.
Talking about it? Maybe you cut yourself, or I did, or
wait, somebody dropped a knife and it landed on their foot or something, or
something like that. I have a memory too, but it's real vague.
Was that a dream I had? I can't remember. Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear the call. Maybe that'll help.
All right. Here we go.
Hello, Sharp and Bandage. I'm responding to a story on January 9th. Talking about, Brian was talking about his catching the fallen knife story again, and I just wanted to respond to
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was basically in 2020, during the pandemic, I was cleaning some steak knives. The bottle of dishwashing liquid was slipping. I went to catch it and used both hands. One of the hands contained a knife, and the blade went into my hand. And
That's
I had
right.
to go during COVID to an urgent care facility with a gaping, bleeding wound. Oh my God, that hurt. He had to jam so many needles into that.
Oh, that's right. I now remember this whole conversation. That's why I don't remember it well, because I blocked it out.
Stitches in that area. Did
he kiss you on the open wound? He probably didn't. That's a bad idea.
He didn't, because he had herpes. And I said, no, don't do it. I don't need your herpes.
Yeah, herpetic simplex Dr. Right. 5. All right, here's the rest of the call. Enjoy. Whoops, why isn't it playing? I don't know.
I was listening to this while I was working for my job in the kitchen. And in the kitchen, we are speeding to us to step away and jump back from when you drop your knife. Otherwise, that happens. But when you actually go to college for this and buy and bring in your own $70 to $200 knives, you have no idea the emotions that go through those 3 seconds of oh my God, my knife is solid. Oh my God. And then, oh my God, stop that, because possible hospital bills. It's a very nerve-wracking moment. Love you guys. Love the show though. All that fun stuff. I don't have anything clever. Bye.
That's pretty clever. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Expensive knives scare me, because I don't I always feel like I'm going to wreck them, even just using them normally. It's like, can I even cut this bread with this knife, or am I doing something wrong? Is this only for meat? So Kim will bring home some fancy knife and say, now, nobody put this in the dishwasher. Hand wash it every time. Don't use it on bread, but you can use it on bread. And then I feel all this personal stress about this damn knife I'm never going to use.
Yeah.
Every time. We shouldn't feel that way about our knives.
She's absolutely right.
Sorry. I have got the jumpiest soundboard today. Apologies, everyone. That was annoying. Anyway.
No, I get that. Listen, when I've got a chef's knife that I absolutely love. This thing is perfectly weighted, and it's Japanese, and it's cuts through onions like butter, blah blah blah. I don't want Tristan coming over and using it to like clean the edges off of a Warhammer figure, like
Yeah.
you know the mold lines. No, use something else for that. Do not use my chef's knife to cut the mold lines off of your Warhammer figure.
Yeah. As a kid growing up, for my mom, it was her sewing scissors. You weren't.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, because when those things get bunged and you try and cut cloth and all it does is just push the cloth around because
Yeah.
you used it to cut a tin can because you saw it on a Ronco commercial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got in multiple trouble growing up for that. Not
Yeah.
cutting cans necessarily, but it was like I had, construction paper or something for school.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'd grab those scissors and my mom would lose her soul. You'd see her soul leave her body.
Was it? Did she have the scissors that had the zigzag cut to them?
She did. We had a pair of those. And those were
Yeah.
easy to determine. I'd see those and go, oh, those aren't for me. Because
I
they
know,
had,
but you really want to cut construction paper with that, though.
oh,
didn't
hell
you?
yeah.
I mean,
Hell yeah. I
yeah.
did. But I was left with this feeling of like, are these multi-million dollar scissors? Why is she so worried?
Irreplaceable, like, yeah.
Yeah. Can we not buy new ones? Is there a shortage on these? Or, I could never understand why she was so hardcore about it. But
Yeah.
I think that was just, whatever. She grew up in a time they were a little more tight, so they don't want to waste anything. But also, they're probably a $10 pair of scissors. $10 in 1985 was probably, what, $30 now? I could see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could see it.
So pinking shears, those are pinking shears that have, oh yeah. Pinking shears have the,
What's a pinking shear? Never even
those
heard-
are the scissors that have like a little jaggedy
Oh.
edge.
They're called a
Yeah.
pinking shear?
Yeah, a pinking shear. I don't know. Call them zigzag scissors. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
we have words already for these things. We don't need to.
Yeah, we already
we don't
coined
need
it.
to come up with something new.
We coined it perfectly. Why does the industry not listen
Right.
to what we have
Why
to
use
say?
a color to describe a shape?
Chat says cut plants. What does that mean? Cut plants? Can you cut plants with a
Cut plants.
pinky shears?
Well, they have.
This is a whole
There's
new world,
a flower that's called the pink.
dude. Okay. Does
that
she does have
has-
short
that
has, hair
has-
and sings a lot?
That has the. That's right. Exactly. Raise your glass to this flower.
Yeah.
But it has the edges. The edges of the petals have that same zigzaggy shape, like pinking shears. So that
Yeah.
must mean.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know nothing. There's tools in the bathroom space over there that Steve brought out. So I've never even seen some of that stuff in my life.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, what does that do?
I like the
Oh,
I like
that's
the
a-
people are like, no, Brian, just learn the right word. We do have words for it. It's pinking shears.
Yeah.
It's like,
learn it.
yeah. But when I describe pinking shears to Scott, who's unfamiliar, right? And
Right.
I was unfamiliar with until I looked at it. He wouldn't know if I said, zigzag scissors. He knew exactly
I
what I
knew
was talking
exactly
about.
what you meant. Yep.
So why not describe things with words that describe them?
You know what? English is a very fluid language. We got a lot of weird aspects to it. It allows us to kind of tweak it out and say stuff so that others know what we mean when we don't exactly know the perfect little book term for it. Okay?
Exactly.
So take
That's-
that, everyone else. Take that. We got a phone call here also about long commutes, and we may as well hear him out. Here it is.
Hi guys, calling about yesterday's discussion of long commutes on the morning stream. I have an acquaintance who works at a university in Worcester and commutes from his home in Albany, Worcester, Massachusetts, and Albany, New York. So if you want to do the math on that, that's about 2.25 hours each way, directly into the sun each way.
That sounds bad.
Horrendous. Yeah, exactly.
Directly into the sun each way.
Each way, because he's going east when the sun's coming up and going west when the sun's coming down. Oh my gosh.
I just don't think anybody should have to drive 2.5 hours for a job every day, and one way, and then another way back at night, unless they are paying you exorbitant amounts of money. Like if you're getting paid, I don't know, whatever it is, you're getting paid for this, and you're getting paid not extra, but just a lot, so that it's worth it for you to spend 2.5 hours. That's 5 hours of travel a day.
5 hours a day.
Holy shit.
Insane. Yeah.
Sign
I
me.
think,
oh, man, forget it.
Maybe move closer to work and move to the opposite side of your office from where you are now, so that the sun will be behind you in both cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also it doesn't sound like that area is going to be low traffic either. It's gonna be a bunch of traffic. If this is some country road, maybe I could do it for 5.5.
Yeah.
But with people packed in like that, like one of these days, you have a high percentage chance that you're going to have to poop in your car. Very high percent. Do you know what I mean? Like this will rarely happen to any of us because we're never on the road for that much.
Of course, that is going to be. I'm not surprised that is where your mind goes. It's
you're going to have to.
You're going to have to poop in your car.
Eventually, you will. Yeah. You will just have one of those days because everyone has those days occasionally, and you have higher chance because you're in that car so much that you're going to have to poop. And I wish you luck and wellness.
Good luck with the pooping in your car.
Yeah, hope it goes well for you.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Yeah. Speaking of bringing towels, we're going to Vegas soon, and you got some updates. What's going on?
Updates. Yeah. So, locked everything down. We're still waiting on a room code, but the contract is back in the hands of the Plaza, signed. So they just have to sign it. We are so good with everything else. Don't worry. Don't you don't need to be impatient for a code. The rooms will be there. This is the Plaza. We're not talking about a Taylor Swift concert. We're talking about weekdays in late April at the Plaza on Fremont Street, downtown Las Vegas.
Sure.
That said, I'm hoping that things get back to me quick. But now that we've got that, VivaTMSVegas.com is the website where you can go and see the schedule. I've already got a bunch of things already up there. All the official events, a couple unofficial events. We've got a couple things. Karaoke we're doing Monday night. September is heading that up, so we're getting some information on that. There's a thing happening on Tuesday night that is going to be awesome. I'm waiting for details on that. There's a nice little countdown that tells you how many days, hours, minutes, etc. until that Monday morning. What else? There's signups for the video game tournament. Hop in there. Make sure you give me your phone number so that we can text you in case we need to find you at the bar that night. That was the biggest bottleneck. Poor Amy had to deal with all that. The biggest bottleneck for the tournament was people would disappear 10 minutes before it was their time to play Asteroids. And
that didn't work out great.
It didn't work out great. So now I'm going to see about getting, you remember they had those tables there with vendors? Mm-hmm. There was somebody selling like 3D printed Pokemon stuff.
Oh yeah. They had a couple tables there that night. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to see if we can get one of those tables. There's a board game sign-up sheet. Big thanks to Bobby and Ducey for setting that up.
That'd be on VivaTMSVegas.com as well. Links to it.
All that stuff is at VivaTMSVegas.com. Zoe is taking care of a Bacon Nation breakfast on Tuesday morning. Oh. And a bunch of people are getting drawn on while they're in Vegas. And Amy is also helping with that. So in the Discord, DM Red Fraggle 3. Or just go to the TMS Vegas Discord and find her there and DM her. I'll have a link on the VivaTMSVegas.com site for where people can reach out to her. Because what we're trying to do is make it easy so that nobody has to show up to Vegas and say, "Oh, I want to get a tattoo," and there are no slots available.
Right.
And Amy is going to really help facilitate a lot of that.
And if I can
get
for a
off
few,
my butt,
I was going to say, for a few of you shy people who are thinking of coming this year, like, I've always wanted to go, I haven't gone yet. This isn't mandatory that you get a tattoo.
Oh God, no. Yeah,
we're not saying all of these are just activities that people can opt into. It's not like it's
right. Exactly. You don't have to play video games in the video game tournament. Although it is the most laid back tournament, makes it sound like it's a lot more than it is. Yeah. Seriously, you're playing elevator action against Claire or somebody like that. It's nothing. It's really,
with a broken left stick sometimes.
Right, exactly.
It's all for fun.
Karaoke, is optional. You don't have to sing. You can go and just watch people or be a background vocalist or whatever. Board games, that's going to be fun. But yeah, all that stuff. And my gosh, we got to really throw out some things to Svet. She and I were talking last night and getting things squared away with the Sand Dollar. And she is, Svet and Bad Moon booking. She is just so good at talking to people and arranging stuff and getting all that happening. So
she rocks. Love her.
She does. I could not do that part of things without her and James's help. So
Yeah.
I thanked her profusely over the phone last night, but I'm going to thank her live on the show. All right. So what else? We got tourney registration, board game, tattoo. Do I have anything else in this list?
I like the sound of board game tattoo. Sounds
Board
like
game tattoos. I mean,
whole
really,
other activity, whole different
if
thing.
I can get off my butt and finish designing it, I'll get my tattoo while we're in Vegas too. I'm design. Does it say urinament on the site?
Urinament.
Really?
Urinament.
Urinament.
Yeah.
Oh, it does say urinament.
Urinament. Welcome to the urinament.
A video game. Urinament. Whatever.
Yeah. Everyone's always so. If any of you get there and you're like, "Hey Scott, I'll do this again. I did it for Claire. If anyone wants a quick doodle to then base a tattoo on, I'll do it there live if you want it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a tattoo, but I'll help you come up with a drawing if you want one. You just let me know.
And I would like somebody to volunteer to take me to Dupar's for pancakes on whatever mornings we're not doing. On one of the mornings that we're not doing Bacon Nation, because those are the best pancakes in the world. And if you disagree, I'll fight you.
Yeah,
And,
I don't.
But it's far away from it's far away from downtown. It's a 20-minute drive from downtown.
I feel like it's a proven fact though that Dupar's is the best pancakes in town.
It absolutely is. Like I think Barry's probably going to rent a car, and when we were out there last year for like a post, basically it was Tanner and Alex's makeup TMS Vegas with Tristan. It was really just basically our D&D group. We went out to Dupar's, and I think everybody gave their pancakes a raving thumbs up.
Yeah, they're renowned for this.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Carter, if someone at TMS Vegas asks you to make a tattoo, like a quick drawing for a tattoo there, would you do it? Sure, she says. So she'll do it too. If you like Carter's style, she could.
I have like the pressure. I can't. I would not want to take that on. Like, hey, here's something that's going to be permanently on your body. Would you like to draw it?
Yeah.
No, thanks. I do not want that pressure. Thank you.
I don't know. It's weird. It used to be it feels so permanent back in the day, but even now it's starting to feel less permanent. The older you get, it is less permanent. It's like, well, one day this is just going to die, and this won't be here. Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. There's your update. TMS or VivaTMSVegas.com for all your newest details, everybody.
There probably will be another Sunday night attack of the high roller wheel on the strip, the bar car, basically seeing if we can take over a bar car with some poor unsuspecting rando couple that is in there stuck with a bunch of tadpoolers, like we did last year.
Sure.
And then hop over to Cosmo for some verbenas for those people who haven't had verbenas. So maybe I need to add a fourth day just to the unofficial schedule of events and say Sunday, this time-ish, high roller kind of thing.
Yeah, and we're not 100% locked in on the pyramid scheme, is what I'll call it, because I don't want to give anything away. But you know what I'm talking about, the potential.
Oh, yeah.
Are we locked in on that?
I think we're locked in on that, whether or not we get a deal on it.
Okay.
But I'm hoping we get a deal on it, but that will be...
We are doing that then.
Yeah, I think that feels like a perfect for Tadpool.
No, it's perfect. And I really like that casino.
So I'd really like to get a discount, a group discount, but if we don't get a discount, then I think we still do it.
All right. Well, details on that coming up as well, everybody.
Yes.
Very exciting.
No one will ever figure out what you meant by your clue.
My pyramid scheme. Yeah. Geez,
at least know they might at least figure out the casino. Right?
Yeah, you might know which zone of the strip we're talking about.
Exactly.
All right. Well done. That's awesome. Let's get a little. Oh, you know what? We don't have time for news. We have time for one piece of news. Let's do one news. All right.
Okay. One news.
And then we'll get Wendy in here. Here you go. Today's single news story is brought to you by
Coverville today at noon, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville. 3 cover stories for you today because really not enough material to do full-on episodes for any of the 3 of these. But Aaliyah, who died but would have been 45 this month.
Jeez.
Roxette, Per Gessel, the dude in Roxette, is turning 65 this month. And sadly, we lost Marie... Oh, what was her name? The female lead singer. We lost her a few years ago. And the Ventures lead guitarist Bob Bogle of that 60s surf guitar group, he would be 90 if he were still alive. So,
Wow.
So 3 cover stories, sadly, for people who've left us with an amazing legacy of music. We'll be listening to covers of those songs and covers by them today. Coverville, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville.
Nice. Check this out, Kansas. We're here to talk about you today. A Kansas couple charged with collecting a man's retirement while keeping his body in their home for 6 years.
Jeez, I would have thought that after 6 years, he just would have been dust in the wind. But,
right? I get what you did there with the Kansas reference. That's good.
Yep.
I haven't heard Kansas in years. I should listen to Kansas.
I should just listen to that album.
Yeah, it's
Point
good.
of No Return is such a great album.
It's such a great album, and the rest of it's not great. The rest of their work is all kind of, but that album's amazing. Anyway, Kansas couple has been charged with fraudulently collecting more than $215,000 in retirement benefits on behalf of a dead relative while they concealed his body inside their home for 6 years. Authorities say Mike Carroll's pacemaker showed that he died in 2016 at the age of 81. I didn't know they could pinpoint times on those things.
Yeah, I guess that's an interesting thing. Like it logs the date that it stopped making pace.
I mean, are they wireless? Probably are. They probably Bluetooth or something, or I don't know what they do.
I don't know. I don't know what modern 2016 pacemaker does, but it would have to have some sort of little battery backup in there for storage, right? Like when the main battery runs out, it's got a little thing that says, "Yes, I stopped working on this date at this time."
Can you still not? Back in the day, was the whole thing where you couldn't walk into or be near a microwave or something? Is that still
I don't
true?
know if that's still the case.
I don't know if that's still true. Well, anyway, this couple, they're both 61. They're the Ritters, Lynn and Kirk Ritter, continued depositing and spending his bank account money even when the body became mummified on a bed in the home. How did that work? How'd you get mummified? That feels like something. If it's mummified, how? That has to be a lack of air. It has to be like in a vacuum almost to be mummified without ice. Right?
Because otherwise you just how does that work? You just desiccate, right? If that's the
because you just dry. If it's warm and dry, But it has to also you got to have because you have to have a situation where bacteria can't do its job, right?
Right.
So that you wouldn't rot or whatever.
But I think the stuff that bacteria doesn't get still shrivels up, and you become like a little like beef jerky kind of thing.
Yeah, which I guess is the mummification thing. But anyway, that's just weird to me.
I mean, they didn't wrap him in bandages or anything.
No. But they made a bunch of money from this and kept the guy in a room, and they sound like weird people I never want to be around ever. So I will not.
Yeah, no.
I will not be.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
I will not be seeking these people out. Okay. We're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy will be here. We got an email we're going to respond to, and she's
a good one.
Yeah,
good one.
She's coming to Vegas. Everybody, come see
Yay!
Come see Wendy. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. We need a song though. Do you have one?
We do. Yes, I want to play Robotron against Wendy when she comes to Vegas. That's my. I'm gonna rejigger the tournament bracket so that I end up playing Robotron against Wendy.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
I don't know why Robotron, but
what was it? What's the famous voice line in Robotron? The guy
the intruder.
Oh yeah,
no, that's Berserk.
Oh, that's Berserk. You're right.
That's Berserk.
What am I thinking of? There is a line though, isn't there? Maybe I'm thinking of Intruder Alert. Intruder Alert.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Anyway.
I don't know. You're the one who does play retro.
You'd think I'd know. We even did a whole episode on that game. So,
by the way, there is a not that I want to give this person any publicity, but there is a retro gaming show on YouTube called Game Sack. And
oh goodness,
I think we need to get the lawyers out.
Yeah, let's. You know what? Let's dust them off. Just send a cease and desist. Test the waters. See what's going on.
Just to get it going.
Bastards.
This is from the publicity. This is a woman named Asha Jeffries. She has a brand new debut album called Ego Ride with a euphoric queer anthem called Brand New Bitch. I'm reading this all verbatim, folks.
Sure.
But this is great. This is a great song. So I am certainly not throwing any negativity in this. I love this. There's so much positivity. She's from Brisbane, Australia. And this is so good. This is the first single. The whole album's coming out April 12th, but the first single, Brand New Bitch, is out now. Here is Asha Jeffries.
Oh, hold on, I got the wrong tab up. There we go.
The original machine had a base plate of prefamulated amulite surmounted by a malleable logarithmic casing in such a way that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with a panometric fam. The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic marsal vanes so fitted to the ambifacient lunar wane shaft that side fumbling was effectively prevented.
Quick as a wink, you're in the pink.
And we've returned. Who was that again?
That was Asha Jeffries from Brisbane, Australia, and a brand new song called Brand New Bitch from her upcoming album Ego Ride, coming out on April 12th.
Ego Ride.
Ride.
That's a cool name. I like that name a lot.
I'll explain the situation to Wendy. Don't worry.
Oh, my goodness. It's Wendy Dunford, my sister, all the way from Minnesota, where I assume they finally got cold, right?
Nope.
What?
Nope. All the snow's melted.
Huh? What the heck,
and
man?
it's like going to be 45, 50 degrees next week.
What the heck? What's going on?
I don't know, but I'm moving. I can't take it. I can't believe, and everyone has this like mix of feeling guilty for being happy that it's warm because it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's
but
almost
then we're also like,
yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Is it imposter syndrome? Like what is it? I'm sure there's some sort of regular malady you can correlate it to that normally happens with that, right? Like you feel guilty because you're enjoying something that you don't usually get this time of year. Yeah.
And everyone's mood's a little lighter, but then they're also like, oh no. And then there's so many diehards who's ice fish and they don't care. And so they just keep needing to be rescued. And
because
like no one's behaving.
Right through the ice. Jeez.
Oh wait, so there's still places you can ice fish. It's just
they're
not
thin ice fishing.
Yeah.
Thin ice fishing, and people are furious because people make such dumb choices, and you got to rescue. Anyway, it's just I hate it. Is it cold? Do you guys have?
No, it's 50 some degrees right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 50 for us today, or close to it, 48, something like that. I don't know what's going on.
But that is not unheard of where you guys live. This is insane.
Yeah, for you guys, it does seem a little weirder. And we did get a ton of snow and then really cold weather, refused to melt, then new snow on top of that. So we had like a run there. But for some reason, within a week, it all melted and got warm. And I don't like it.
Yeah, because you are living in a high altitude desert, people. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with the whole thing. And you at least get more oxygen where you live, so that's good. Yeah.
We definitely get more oxygen. Here's the thing. I'm just warning everyone. I love talking about the weather now.
Do you?
Really?
It's an age thing.
Yeah,
it's not like a fallback small talk thing. It's like
no. Oh my gosh, I love it. And so whenever my clients are like,
go ahead.
I just love it.
What do your clients do? They just pipe up and
They'll
go.
They'll be like, oh, it's wintry or it looks snowy, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's spend 5 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
I just think it's it's unifying.
I used to observe like when we were growing up, I'd observe an old person doing that and thinking,
I know. You guys,
never
one day
do that.
I suddenly liked birds and now I talk about the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you suddenly don't trust birds and you talk about the weather. Either one. They totally fit.
You get two choices.
There's some people that think some people think birds are drones and the government is spying on us. So
stop.
That you think I'm kidding. There's a real conspiracy theory about that, and some people believe it. It's like flat earther level stuff. It's all bullcrap. Well, anyway, we're not going to talk about that today. Instead, we're going to talk about an email that we got. And Wendy gave me the thumbs up on this yesterday, so I think we're going to go ahead and read this.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting. It feels like it's, I don't know, in the wheelhouse of our listenership. Let's say that.
It really is, yeah. And what's cool is it's in the wheelhouse, but it could also apply to things outside the wheelhouse of listenership.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could replace video games with anything and have it be about other people.
This could be golfing.
True.
This could be anything, really. This could be
thin
poker
ice
on the
fishing.
weekend. Thin ice fishing. Yeah.
Thin ice fishing.
Exactly. Get the rescue plane ready. Here we go. This is what this person says. I'm not going to use their name. Me and my fiance both play video games together, to where we try to find new ones to play every few months or revisit old ones that we've liked. With most of the games, though, she seems to not really pay attention to them, to where she knows how to play them, and that's enough for her, because it means she gets to spend time with me doing something I enjoy too, which makes me happy because I feel like she's trying. And in return, I try to like the things she shows me and try to get into them with all the attention I show things that interest me. I've spoke to her about how I would like her to get into the games more in different ways. I try to entice her with interesting stories or play games that appeal to her, but at some level, it always feels like I am picking up slack, and that stresses me out, since I'd like to enjoy the time I spend with her while screaming in my head, quote, "No, don't press that," unquote. But wanting her to sometimes learn and give the opportunity to fail before I try and help. We've talked about this a few times, and I feel weird for it even being something that I let stress me out. She just said that she can occupy her time while I game, but sometimes it feels like she just is waiting for me to be done, and it makes me feel like I have to entertain her. And she says I don't, but if I don't, then she will just literally stare at the wall, and it says literally again, until I'm done. It's not passive aggression, it's just how she is, and I don't want my gaming to become something she dislikes if I imply we can't game together if it stresses me out. Added info. We live together in one room in a house and spend most of our time there. We plan outings and try to get out so we don't go crazy, and plan on getting out once the market is better, and just allows us this just allows us to save. I work, she doesn't. So that's the entirety of it. He's got his the summation here is he's got this leisure time thing he loves doing, and her puzzle piece isn't perfectly fitting with the stuff he likes, and it seems like he's trying to not make that puzzle fit, but it's letting it get to him to the point where he's not even enjoying himself because she either looks bored or she's not as into it as he is. Like, these are all the feelings I'm getting from this. So Wendy, what do you want to do, and where do we want to go here with this one?
Well, I must have missed that last paragraph when I read it.
Yeah.
Like,
that they live together in a single room.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're there all day. Oh, heavens.
That sounds hard on its own. Whole other episode, whole other session probably on that. But
Right. Okay. So why doesn't she work? Is my question.
Yeah.
My other question is, like, what if you just believed her that she's cool? She doesn't care. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that she's just staring at the wall probably worries him. That
Totally.
it would worry me. It's like, oh, are you really is it really cool? Because you're not doing anything that entertains you while I'm doing this.
Well, plus you're stuck in a room, it sounds like, where you're not anywhere else in the house, and you barely leave that room.
Right.
Maybe all there is to do, if you're not directly engaging in what he's doing, is stare at the wall. Yeah. Like, maybe you could read a book, or there's a million other things maybe, but it sounds, I feel like that last paragraph's important in a way that we have to make sure to address.
Yeah.
Because it's adding to this. Yeah.
Exactly. Because it all of a sudden then becomes less about, all right, well, she's cool with it, I'm going to do my thing, she'll do her thing, but you're in the same room, and obviously she's not doing her own thing while you do your thing.
Yeah.
And that would work.
Well, and what I mean by believing her is, like, have the discussion, but also maybe there's just like a bit of a conversation about, well, we don't have information how long they've been together, because that might make a difference too, right? If this is a fairly new relationship, you're still kind of really worried what the other person's thinking and feeling. But if they've been together for a while, that might shift things. But, what is she actually thinking? Like, have a conversation like that. I understand this person really loves video games, wants their partner to engage at a level that means they can just thoroughly enjoy the video game without having to worry about them, because that person's into it. Like a friend, right? A friend you play video games with, you would not be wondering, are they okay? Because they're clearly there for the game, right? Maybe she just is not interested in games in the same way. And what's okay about that? And then what's not okay about that? So you two are both partnered with people who do not love video games as much as you do. Or I don't know, is that true?
That is true.
It's true, yeah.
So how in the world are you making this work? You're not living in one room. That's
no.
That would make a big difference. Like, I'm just visualizing if our living room, bedroom, like everything was all one room, I would definitely not play as many video games, and I barely play any video games as it is, but it would really be more of like, what things do we both enjoy equally, that visually we both see that we both get the same amount of enjoyment from? What would we be doing? Either, watching a movie or cooking or something that we both, that does add such a difficult wrinkle to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the idea
it
of
does.
the idea of Kim, not that she doesn't ever do this. Like if it's like we're on the couch or something and I'm playing something, sometimes she'll sit and watch. But the idea of her having to sit in a closed space and not be able to go anywhere and just stare at what I'm doing, that just seems insane to me. So I understand his desire to want to get her more involved in playing.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Like, let's do this together. It's just that you've got two different people with two different motivation levels coming at the same thing, and that's probably going to just seem off to you because you don't have the perfect play partner or whatever. But in the case of Kim, she doesn't really care to play much of anything. Occasionally we'll, do some family couch party thing where we got 5 controllers and there's a reason to have us all in the same room. But that's more about the experience of that, social interaction and the kids being there and everything else. So for her to just sit down and, let's say, play Assassin's Creed or something, she's never going to do it. It's just not in Kim's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But she is always, she's always been really supportive of that, in the same way I'm supportive of her stuff. But we also don't just live in the same room and never leave it.
Yeah.
Right. You're not watching Kim cook all day and having her be like, ooh, measure that better.
Yeah.
You're not doing it right.
Right. Oh, use the
You'd
other
go
measuring cup.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. They kicked me
And-
out of the kitchen, both her and Carter. They're like, get out of here.
Right.
We got this.
Because you're not good at that game. And so, okay. Well, before I mean, when I read this earlier, I must have missed that last paragraph because I was just like, okay, well, number one, let's do other things.
Well,
but now that I know they're kind of trapped together.
He also sent me some additional data that I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know about until just now.
Okay.
I just went and searched for his name, thinking maybe I've got other stuff from him. And there was an original mail here that was just some more details. Like he's 33,
Okay.
so there's a I don't know if that's helpful or not, but he's 33. They're living. Let's see. Okay, they're engaged. So girlfriend of 2 years, recently got engaged.
Okay.
Let's see. Her mother is a paranoid schizophrenic, and they're living in her basement.
Oh, honey.
Okay, so probably also some parent care going on there.
Oh,
too.
I gotta. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me flip it around. They're living in his mom's house. Her mother lives in an apartment somewhere and is a paranoid schizophrenic. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Okay.
All right.
I read that wrong. And then let's see. His dad passed away in October of 2022 suddenly, so they're dealing with that. And then let's see. Is there anything else of note? I think that might be it. So engaged, 33 years old, living in the basement of his mom's while they save for a place of their own. That's where they're at.
Got it.
Yep. And I think they're in the chat room too.
Oh, are
so
they?
They
Good.
can answer any questions. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay.
Cool.
Well, okay. So one question, well, how long does this take? That's hard. Everything takes longer than you think. But maybe the idea here that might be helpful is to think about, especially in new relationships, and you're engaged, you're going to start your life, hopefully, right? It's just figuring out how each other works and working to accept some of those differences, right? Because when you're newly together, you do a lot of things together. When I read this email, my first thought was this couple I worked with years and years ago. They came in, they'd been married for a long time, had a couple kids who were grown, and they were really struggling to stay together. And as I was like digging through, what the deal was and how they met, she wants to live in the center of New York City and go to operas. That is who she is. And he was a backcountry rescue ski guy and a mountaineer.
Wow.
And they settled somewhere in the suburbs in the middle to try, to raise a family, but both were constantly craving the thing they loved. And when we finally figured it out, and I said, so, when you guys were dating, what were you thinking? And he's like, she went camping with me all the time. And she said, he went to the opera with me all the time. I was like, oh, guys, you know what that is? That's called being nice.
Right.
It's like you
Compromise,
want to
yeah.
do the thing. Yeah, you want to do the thing because you want to be with the person.
Yes.
And
right.
so I am looking at this fiance. She just wants to be with him.
It
This
sounds
is
like
not
right. It sounds like that's the case, right? She's like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
like video games? I'm not too into them, but I like being with you." And
Yeah.
and
And
so,
so let's play whatever. So I
Yeah.
am wondering this, and this is coming from a experience the other day. When my son was home from college and the three boys just had lots of screaming video game time, right?
Yep.
They invited me to play Mortal Kombat.
great.
You guys,
Sure.
can we just discuss how unbelievably disgusting Mortal Kombat is?
Oh no, you know
I
what?
remember as a kid.
Yeah,
I cannot. But I also was just in the middle of playing with them, and I'm way better than them because I've been playing Mortal Kombat since I was 5.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
I can play Mortal Kombat in my sleep.
Here's the thing:
And
the
so-
original Mortal Kombat was incredibly controversial at the time, but it's nothing compared to this.
I can't.
Like the
I
fatalities, the
cannot
fatalities in this game, and which is really all we're talking about here, is the finishing moves.
Yes.
That stuff is insanely creative ways of killing people in
Yeah.
stuff
Right.
you cannot imagine, and they're so good at it now that I can't believe it doesn't come. I can't believe there aren't 50 politicians yelling constantly about it.
Yeah, well, they got other things they're not doing.
I was
So
gonna
don't
say,
worry.
is it because back in the day those were way outside the norm, and now that's kind of the norm, and now we got to worry about barbarians doing it in a hot tub kind of game,
Right.
hot coffee mods and things like. I know
Yeah.
that's also a 20-year-old reference, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like, things have gotten
no,
worse.
I don't know if it's just that they've gotten worse or just whatever. The politicians go after the shiny thing, and right now it's not a shiny thing. So
It's not shiny. Well, let me tell you this. I played with them and I was so grossed out, but also I was winning, so I couldn't help it. And we kept going and they were laughing and they couldn't believe I was watching it. And the whole time I was like, what? I can't. This is so gross. So then 2 days go by. They're playing again. Adam walks downstairs and he is not an angry dad dude ever.
Yeah.
But he's like, absolutely not. You will not play this. He was furious. Like,
wow.
this is beyond.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you would. And then they all three threw me so hard under the bus. They go, well, we played with Mom.
Mom said it was okay.
Yeah.
You little, shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got caught not being a good parent. But anyway, he brought the hammer down. Anyway, my point is, I was there for the people. I was not there for Mortal Kombat, right? So I did that because I wanted to spend time with my boys, and it was so fun to watch them laughing and having a good time, right?
Right.
That is the thing. You can enjoy someone else's enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going to make me play Mortal Kombat every day because you love it so much, that's not going to work long term.
Right.
So here's my suggestion, and you guys throw in what you think here.
Sure.
What if there's just a game they play together that's fun, and then you stop making her try to play all your other games? Like, what does she?
If she likes Tetris, do the Tetris together, and then go off and do your own game while she reads a book or something like that.
Yeah.
That sort of
And
thing.
then and then trust her, and even have this kind of conversation with her, like, hey, guess what? We're gonna start building a life and a relationship, and maybe we should talk about, let's not mind read. How about that? Right. And so I'm not, if you tell me you're okay, I'm going to believe you. And if you feel bad because suddenly I'm just playing all these other games and whatever, then you aren't telling me the truth. You need to then come tell me, right? So starting that honesty interaction about taking everything seriously, taking everything, there's kind of a little game I'll sometimes play with couples, that everything is face value when you say it. And we just try that for a little while. No hints, no guessing, no mind reading, no passive aggression, nothing like that, right? You just say it. So if you're like, what do you want for dinner? I want chicken. Well, I don't. Okay.
Instead of saying, yeah, all right, chicken.
Yeah.
Good.
Or you just take it as 100% face value and just watch what happens. It's pretty funny to do this with couples who don't do that.
Yeah.
You need complete and total amnesty. Like, it needs to be agreed that I can say that, I'm not really a fan of your spaghetti. the way you make it, or whatever. And be like, okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe I mean this less in feedback that way and more in hinting to what you want or don't want, right?
Yeah.
Or trying to just keep the other person happy, but you're actually miserable, right? And so if you could have this, they could have this conversation about games. She may just, he probably wants to be with a gamer. Let's just say that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah.
She's probably not a gamer.
And he's trying to turn her
into a gamer.
Not
in a bad
maliciously.
way, but, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
But like, let's connect. This is fun for me. I want you to like what I like. It's taking her camping and thinking, oh, she'll be into it. And she's just there for you.
Right.
And then you're going to the opera wanting to scream. It's not your favorite place either.
Before we saw him in the chat room, I was thinking, I wonder if Tina wrote this in and she's really replacing board games with video games and saying, yeah, Brine makes me play these board games that have basically it's the Scout rulebook. It's like these rulebooks that are the thickness of my pinky finger.
Yeah.
And oh no, you can't play that chip on this card because that is a power card and this needs to be played on a grass card or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I fell asleep right now. What were you saying?
Exactly.
See,
Exactly.
I'm not the only Johnson that hates long rules and board games.
Oh, you can't even talk. I'm like, just let's start playing. We'll figure it out.
No, you know what? That's funny. I tried.
Tina says that exact phrase.
Same thing. Play a game. We'll learn as we go. That's how every time. Yeah.
I learned by doing.
That helped.
How will you know which character to pick if you don't know which aspect you want to be stronger in?
Right.
Listen, I win every game I play the first time. I never win the second time. And I think it's because no strategy is the best strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's beginner's luck. And then I'm like, cool, I'm done. I will play one, maybe two. I'll lose a second and then I'm done. But here's the thing. Everyone's different.
Yeah. Totally.
And you got to just believe her and find out maybe what she needs.
Yeah.
Okay. Throwing in that her mother is paranoid schizophrenic is quite a whopper there at the end, right?
That is a big whopper.
Which is what is her style in life because she has managed a mother who has been unwell. Okay. And it might be don't make any waves, don't make any noise, don't have too many opinions. Okay. That's very possible. So your job here might not be trying to force her to play games so that you can see that she's having fun. Maybe the job is more, hey, let's be gentle as we figure this out and how we work together and let's communicate better and be honest with what we're feeling. Because she's probably learning some stuff in a relationship that is going to have to undo some of the other learning that she's had. That would be just my guess. I don't have enough information truly, but there is maybe a staring at the wall has been a thing that I have learned to do.
Yeah, it might be a coping mechanism or a
right.
Yeah.
Right. And so your concern might
Processing.
not actually be just about this game. It might be, okay, I just like the resentment. I don't want her to resent me. I don't want her to be secretly thinking something else or but it's stressing him out. So trust that. What are you stressing out about? If you're just not sure you understand what she's doing, because you would never do that. Clearly, you would not stare at a wall while someone's playing a game.
No,
you would be into it, and that's just you have different brains, you have different interests, and that's okay. If I have ever, I've probably met 1,000 couples. Never once have I thought, wow, you guys are similar. Never once. I've always thought, oh, look at your opposites. That's fun.
Right. Yeah. No, because I think if we end up with somebody who's just basically a clone of ourselves, it feels like that just could get so boring and dull, and you need those differences.
And you'd be in trouble. There would not be enough food or the dishes won't get done. Stuff like that. You need a balance.
Right. Exactly. Yes. You need somebody who counters your weaknesses or your
totally
exactly.
So to make it really simple, I would find one game the two of you can play, and I would also, I don't know why she's not working, but she definitely needs some things that are her own, which I'm going to make a real leap here, might be related to her mother as well, of just happy to do whatever,
right?
Because it's, and probably maybe doesn't know what she wants. Doesn't know that she can have a hobby or something else, or because he didn't say anything about this, but it's not like she's like, well, let's do my thing.
Right.
It sounds like she's doesn't got a thing.
She's
And
just
he's
down to
trying
do everyone that
to make sure she's happy.
Yeah.
And you can see it's out of love and concern. And if we change from game to golf or any other thing, the same stuff kind of applies, but we get kind of blinders on with our own stuff we really like because we already like it. And so we want someone to see us and know us and get us, and other gamers will get you, and your partner's probably not going to be a gamer. So you got to find other ways that connection thrives, and and then still you can have a fun game you do together. So you get that itch scratched, and she's happy to do it, but you're, I don't know, maybe not trying to make my husband play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I wish there was footage of you doing this. I want to see you play.
It was so bad. And you should have seen my face when they're all throwing me under the bus. I was like, are you kidding? I gave birth to you?
Yeah.
You're telling on me? I'm a grown up. What is happening?
I will say this, though. I have very specific memories of playing MK1 and MK2 on a Genesis or something back in the day at a family thing. That would have been like 93 or 4. And you were good. Like Wendy would pick up a controller and rock us. She'd make Matt and I look bad. So it doesn't surprise me, A, that you were doing well, or B, that you've shocked about how far it's come in terms of fatalities.
It's unreal.
No, it's amazing.
I mean,
there are compilations on YouTube, for example, that are just like, I cannot believe. On one hand, I'm like, that's really creative what you just did there. Like how you dispatch that character is comically insanely, like, I've never even seen a horror movie try that. I don't know how you did it. So on the one hand, I'm like impressed, and on the other hand, I'm like, oh my gosh, who is?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Who is in charge of
who? Like, what are the meetings like over at that company?
It's not bad enough. I need to feel. I want to vomit in my mouth.
Yeah.
Make it worse.
Yeah, make it worse than that, please. All right, everyone's doing great. See you at lunch. Like, what a weird thing. Yeah. Anyway, good luck, NetherRealm. So, all right. Well, I know you've got kind of a heart out today, but I think that is there anything else you want to add to that make us, give this guy the right path to head on?
I mean, kind of what I'm saying of just like communicate more. I mean, maybe the old adage of over communicate, as I like to say, it would be appropriate to just kind of navigate this and get out of that room more. Like this cannot.
Yeah,
that cannot be good for you.
He says that they plan outings and try to get out so they don't go too crazy, but they maybe as much as you can just to give yourself bigger environments to kind of be yourselves in, as opposed to feeling like you're in a cell all the time.
Yes, and if her world is just you in that room, I mean, I'd be concerned about that. And there's probably some reasons there that maybe go deeper and you need some more help with that. But get a hobby, have a thing she does separate from this. And, and even if you're both just going on a walk every day, you've seen those memes where it's like, it's an eagle walking very grumpily saying, going on my stupid mental health walk today. Just like, but do it, especially in January. Just go on, make some regular habits that are more ritual based. That'll help you keep saying, like, you walk every night after dinner, or and then whatever games you're playing, just kind of think of this as a good, interesting first test of the relationship. Well, the first test is you're living in your mom's one room. Like that's your first test.
That's a real
test.
Your
second test being like, how do you navigate this and build connection in ways that works for both of you? And the only final thing I would say about him getting upset, was like, I loved his line, while screaming in my head, no, don't press that.
Right.
And maybe all y'all could talk about what that's like to play with people who aren't as good as you at something you really care about. But you got to recognize that's just not probably ever going to be. And so maybe changing your expectation of what this is might go a long way. Like, this is Kim playing a game with us every once in a while, and not, Tina, who's so into board games.
Yeah. And here's how we cross that divide sometimes. Kim will be really into a British detective series she found, which wouldn't, for whatever reason, the one she's into isn't really interesting me. So I pull out a Steam Deck or a Switch or something and I play a game, and I'm occasionally glancing up and going, no, wait a minute, is that guy married to her? Is that why he murdered whatever? And she'll say,
does she love that?
She doesn't mind because we're just talking, chatting, and then she'll do the same thing. She'll lean over and go, who's that? And I go, oh, that's the sub boss I got to beat before I can go further. Like, we have kind of those conversations sometimes, and they're just these moments of, do I really care that much about these people on screen? Not really. Does she really care about the sub boss I have to beat before I go to the final layer or whatever? No. But there's these little interactions that just say, yeah, you're enjoying your thing. That's cool. And I like what you're doing. And here we are together. And, you know, I'd hold your hand if I didn't need both hands to play this game.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Whatever.
Right. And tell me how long y'all been married?
31 year. Wait.
Same.
All right.
32 is
So
it now?
32 years here, yeah.
Will it be 32 this year?
years.
32 years this year,
That'd
yeah.
be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
92, so yeah, it'll be.
You earn this with the hard work of relationship building, right? And you don't get to just skip to that. You really do earn it, right? And that's it's why it's so cute, right? Whenever we see people who've been together a long time and they really are still really sweet and love each other, it's because they had to fight to figure that out. And so that's just where you're at. I think sometimes developmentally we don't understand ages very well as humans. We just assume we should be a thing.
Right.
Or why is this broken or wrong? When really it's developmentally normal to not know what you're doing yet.
Right.
And building on that and getting to a place where you're comfortable. My suspicion here though is just, it's not just that I want her to play games. It's that I want to make sure she's okay and I can't tell if she's okay. And that's important to figure out, right? How do you communicate that? How do you know she is okay? How does she know she's okay? So, I mean, if I met them, I would say many of the things I've said, but I would really be working on like making sure she's all right with how she has been raised and what she's dealing with. Does she need more support? And how can she expand her support and life in a way that might be healthy for her? And so, you know, there's growth and things to do and try but communicating, and it's not going to be, and I don't know if I'm saying this is not fair, but it's not one conversation ever.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and always be aware of this. This is actually a really good analogy. Always be aware of this. You may think you're talking about video games. You're actually talking about something else. You're talking about the process, or you're talking about the needs, or you're talking about other things. Sometimes the subject feels really important, but it's not really.
It's not really the key here. Yeah.
The process.
Although part is this weird that a sizable portion of me wishes I could stare at a wall sometimes. And by that I mean, because I don't
just the simplicity.
Just
of,
exist, right? Just exist and meditate and look and not think about anything else. I would love that.
If there was any way you could do that and not sit there and think, I need to get this done, I need to do this, I need to do that, because that's
it's hard.
There's no way I'd be able to turn off that part of my brain.
Yeah.
And if somebody said to me, hey, I stare at a wall, and you get 2 guesses as to why, well, 3. My one guess would be you have no testosterone at all. It's been completely, it's not functioning.
Yeah.
Because everyone has testosterone to be motivated to live. And staring at a wall is a very common side effect. When they have to shut off testosterone production 100% for medical reasons, people will stare at walls and do nothing. It's very, very interesting. Weird. So there's that one. My other one would be it's a trauma response. And then my third one would be it's a highly practiced meditative Buddhist person. Those are the 3 people. Yeah. I don't know anyone else who could do it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Or someone who's stuck in prison and has to cope and stares at the wall.
Right.
What else are you going to do?
And the consequences of that are rough.
They're horrible, right? Yeah. Exactly. Well, it's interesting. That low testosterone, sit there and can't move kind of thing. That I got hit with a little bit of that not long ago, where it was like my numbers are really low. Low T, like that whole thing. And there were times where I was just like, that couch and I are going to be best friends today. And I'm just going to sit on that. And I'm going to just pull this hat over my head and cuddle with the dog and not move. And I felt like that was tied to that. It just made me so tired all the time. I hated it. Yeah. It sucked.
Yeah.
But now I've got testosterone to spare. So if you need any, let me know.
Good. Extra. Good. Can you bottle some up and send it to me?
Sure can.
Well,
I have to
take it like a magic mind shot.
Yeah, I have to excrete it. It takes a little while, but I'll get you a bottle.
Well, maybe I don't want it.
Or maybe you don't want it.
Ask,
All right.
ask the folks at Mortal Kombat to illustrate that.
Yes, I think that is that Scorpion's finishing move is extracting all of your testosterone.
Oh man, get over here, he says, and then does it. All right, well, that's fantastic. May you always win when you play your boys at any video game, and may this person feel like they got a little bit of help today. I think these are interesting points. He seems,
they really are. Yeah,
seems to be very thankful in the chat as well for us talking about.
Thanks for sending it in. That's awesome.
Yep, means a lot.
Good luck, and I hope the market turns for you, friend.
I do too.
So you can get out on your own.
I do too.
Yes,
Wendy, may your week be full of fun things. We have some cool stuff going on in the background that we'll talk about soon, but just a little teaser there. We'll talk to you next week and say hi to your kids.
Okay.
Bye now.
Sounds.
And tell Adam to freaking lighten up. Jeez Louise. Just a little more. It's a little Mortal Kombat. Jeez.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Calm down. You know what? I know it changed. Back in the 90s, everyone was still convinced video games are just for kids. And they were changing. They were becoming more for more people. And nowadays, that stigma has there still exists in some circles, but for the most part, it's kind of left. It's not a medium for 10-year-olds. It's a medium for everyone.
Or a certain gender, exactly.
Yeah, and the last time they freaked out about Mortal Kombat, we added this industry self-imposed a rating system, and that thing has done pretty well. Mm-hmm. So we're just at a different time.
Hey, guess who's visiting me?
Who's that? A cat?
Yes.
Got to be a cat. Which cat would it be?
It's a little visit from Salem, Massachusetts.
Aww.
She's not crazy about being held for long periods of time, so I'll hold on to her as long as I can. But
tell me about this marking. Oh, that's the way the light's hitting her. That's weird.
Yeah, she is solid black. You are just all black.
The light hits her in such a way that the hair that's head on, it gives her like a little bald spot. That's trippy.
Well, she does. She has the little bald spot in front of her ears, like most cats do.
Oh, that's true.
Those little, just lighter hair areas.
She's adorable.
She's a sweetie.
It makes me wish I had a cat that liked me. She only likes her. Or he does.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, this is Salem. It's definitely Tina's cat, but Tina's working so much at the office that Salem now hangs out with me during the day instead of hanging out with Tina. But Inara's somewhere in the room. Oh, she's over there on the movie chairs, just kind of keeping an eye on things.
Well, someone needs to, Got to police the joint. Real quick, here's a reminder of stuff coming up. Today we have Coverville. Did you say 1 or noon? I forgot.
Noon. 12 today. Aaliyah, The Ventures, and Roxette. So you got the look. And
you got the look.
Dust yourself off and try again. All those. So anyway, all that stuff today at noon, twitch.tv/Coverville.
There's also Core today at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. I believe that's still locked in. We'll let you know if it changes, but that's the plan. Core 4 p.m. We're going to talk about these massive Riot and now Microsoft / Bethesda / Blizzard / everything layoffs. 1,900 people let go today.
Yeah.
Some gnarly business there. A few other things. Also, they canceled their survival game that we were wondering why we hadn't heard about in a while. So there's a few things going on there that we're going to definitely want to tackle. And we did play Pal World, and we will talk about Pal World.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, my God. I do want to hear about that. I missed the DTNS. I'll have to listen to your talk with Tom about that on DTNS yesterday, too.
Yeah, it's so weird. The whole thing's so weird. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Play Retro tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Me and Brine Dunaway tackling Prince of Persia, the original. So check that out. We also have a play date scheduled for Saturday at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here for TMS listeners, and that's patrons as well as everyone else.
That's right, exactly.
So just
Patrons
show up.
Always get first dibs on things, but we've done a bunch of Fridays in a row. We need to do a Saturday for those folks who work on Sunday mornings and can't make it. So Saturday 9 a.m. Mountain Time for a couple hours. I don't think we've talked about what we're doing, but probably a mix again of Jackbox and Among Us.
Probably pull out some games we haven't played in a while. I really like Espionage is one of my favorites.
Espionage would be great. Yeah, we haven't done that in forever.
Stuff we haven't tweaked around with. We have them all, so we'll give it all a shot. That'll be Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., a couple hours with us. Come spend it with us. Also, Film Sack this weekend, we're doing the film Payback. with your Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
yeah. Where he pays people back. It's really nice. It's like, hey, remember that $4 you gave me for coffee the other day? Here's a pack.
Yep, he just gives it to you.
Yeah,
he's a giver.
Just,
he's not a taker.
It's
he's a giver.
basically like a 12-step program for.
That's right.
For racists.
It's rated G. It's a rated G little family film.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Anyway, so that's all going on. In the meantime, you can go to our website and find everything you need. It's over at frogpants.com/TMS. That includes a link to the Patreon, so go check that out as well. You heard us mention names at the top of the show. Be like those people over at patreon.com/TMS. That's going to do it for today. Except for this song that Brine brought, because if we don't play it, who will?
Yeah. This going out to our friend Gwen, T Maven Gwen.
Sure.
Hey, Sencha and Bancha. I'm sure I'm butchering those names. They're Japanese green teas. Don't worry about it. It's your favorite T Maven Gwen. The 27th marks the 8th anniversary of my starting my gender transition. For the first time in those 8 years, I'm actually financially stable enough to get my hair removal treatments and to schedule my big surgeries. Capital surgeries. It's still a year or two out since you've got to make sure all trace of hair is gone before turning an outie into an innie, and electrolysis takes a while, but it's exciting. To celebrate 8 years, could you play me your favorite trans-related cover? The harder rock metal, the better. Love you guys so much, and slurp my butt.
Can I play a thing that's my favorite reference to gender stuff?
I sure hope you will. Yes.
I will. I'm gonna play it right now. This is an interview where a guy was he was doing gotcha questions at some kind of protest, and this guy's response is my favorite response I've ever heard.
Good.
So anyway, here it is.
Can't wait to hear this.
How many genders are there?
I don't know. I just got here.
Love that. I don't know. I just got here.
Haven't had time to look around and count.
Absolutely freaking love that
Oh,
quote.
good. That whoever asked that question needs a swift kick in his nethers.
Yep, that was great. The guy who answered it is my hero. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, for sure. So obviously the easy route would be to go with something from Against Me. I love that band, and but I want to go a little bit deeper, get something a little bit I don't know, harder to find. This is great. This is a band called The Clicks, Cliks. I believe that every member of the band is going through gender.
Do we still
changes?
call it reassignment surgery?
Gender reassignment? Yeah.
Is that
there
what we
go.
call that? I don't know if that's still the thing.
I think that's right. But they get their name from the combination of the two words of what you have and what you're changing it into.
Gender affirming care, they call it now. There you go.
Gender affirming care. Thank you,
Claire. Yeah.
Gender affirming care.
Reassign. The other one's so harsh. Like, you are being reassigned. Reassignment.
That's exactly. Yeah. Go see the counselor because you have a whole new itinerary to go through.
That's right.
So this is headed up by Lucas Silvera, vocalist and guitarist, and then other members that come and go. But this is fantastic. This is a cover of Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River. Hey, try me a river, would you? And let me know how it goes. Cry Me a River from their 2007 album Snake House. Here are The Clicks.
Get more at frogpants.com.
Oh, all right.
That's a good one.
I'll take it.